Hey everyone, I welcome you all in the online classes of Others Convent School, Nachwa. This video has been created for the students of class 9, and as you know that we are doing chapter 1, the fun they had from our textbook Beehive. So this is a story about future time, you can say in 22nd century, when there will be no use of textbook and paper books. I mean everything will be done, everything, every work, every text will be printed on the electronic screen, and books will be read on computers and laptops and smartphones. I mean that will be the time of completely online classes. Then there are two characters, in the story, a boy and girl. And their names are Tommy and Marzi, as you know. And the story continues like this, that they found a real book, and they were discussing about that what is it, because it was a new concept for them. They have not ever seen such kind of a paper book. So they were discussing about it, that what the book is, and the book was about the schools. And they were just surprised to know that what someone can write about the school. So Tommy told her about the school, about the building where in 20th century, in 21st century, children used to go for study, a building. And he also told Marzi about that the children of past time, I mean of the children of 20th century and 21st century, they had uh, actual classrooms. They had their classroom in the schools, in the buildings, and they had the teachers. I mean their teacher was a man. It was not a mechanical teacher, it was not a robotic teacher, but man used to be their teachers. Then Marzi is surprised, and she just cannot believe it, that how can a man be a teacher, how a man can teach a lot of things like this. Then we will start the story from paragraph 7. So Tommy told Marzi that he just told the boys and girls things and gave them homework and asked them question. It was the task of the teacher. Marzi says, a man is not smart enough. She says that a man is not smart enough to teach this children, to students. So how a man can be so smart? Tommy, sure he is. A man is smart, smart person, smart thing. My father knows as much as my teacher. Here, Tommy gives example that my father knows as much as my teacher. Says that my father is also a man, and he is also smart, and he knows as much as my teacher knows, as my mechanical teacher knows about it. He knows almost as much, I betcha. And he knows almost as much, I betcha. Let's see, there is a word betcha. What do you mean by betcha? It is informal. Bet you in fast speech, I am sure. There's a we use just some, you can say some words. These are informal words. It means in informal language, when we are in informal relation with someone, in informal conversation, we will use such kind of word like becha, gocha. Becha means I bet you, किसी से शर्त लगाना, and gocha like got you, just I got you, you will say in short I gota, I gotcha. And I betcha, betcha means I bet you, मैं शर्त लगाता हूँ तुमसे, I am sure, I am quite sure. He knows almost as much, and he knows, the man knows almost as much as the mechanical teacher knows. I bet you, Marzi was not prepared to dispute that. So here, Tommy was telling things about the teacher, about the man who used to be teacher. So but Marzi was not prepared to dispute. Marzi इस बारे में dispute करने के लिए prepared है. The dispute means you can say to have arguments. She said dispute means disagree with. So she was not prepared to disagree with Tommy. So she said, I wouldn't want a strange man in my house to teach me. So she didn't want to dispute with him. She didn't want to have much arguments with him. So she said, I wouldn't want a strange man in my house to teach me. That I don't want that a strange man, any stranger, should come in my house to teach me. I will not agree with this. Tommy screamed with laughter. When Tommy heard this thing, when Margie said that I don't want any stranger in my house to teach me, then Tommy screamed with laughter. Screamed means to, you can say, cry out in a loud voice. He screamed, he cried with laughter. You don't know much, Margie. He says that Margie, you don't know much. The teachers did not live in the house. They had a special building and all the kids went there. Says Marzi, the teachers didn't live in the house. They didn't live in the children's house to teach them, but they had a special building and all the kids went there. In that special building, I mean in that building of the school, all children went for study. Then Margie asked, all the kids learn the same thing? It means that did all the kids in a classroom, in a building, learn same kind of thing? Sure, if they were the same age. So here, Tommy says that definitely they learn the same thing if they were the same age. It means if the age of the children were same, then obviously they were in the same class and they used to learn same thing. Then Margie says in next paragraph, Margie says, but my mother says a teacher has to be adjusted to fit the mind of each boy and girl it teaches, and that each kid has to be taught differently. Then here Margie says, she says that what my mother says, that what mother says, a teacher has to be adjusted to fit the mind of each boy and girl it teaches. That a teacher means a mechanical teacher, has to be adjusted to fit the mind of each boy and girl it teaches. It means it should be adjusted to a level, to a specific level for each, according to the mind of each boy and girl it is teaching. It means actually every mechanical teacher has a different level according to the student it is teaching, and that each kid has to be taught differently. And Margie's mother tells that every child should be taught differently because each child has different mental level, different mental capacity and different mind. So according to their mental capacity, according to their minds, the teacher should be fitted to an average level according to their minds. Just the same, they didn't do it that way then. Then Tommy replies that just the same they didn't do it that way then. That time the teacher, the man teacher, the persons who were teachers, they didn't do the same thing that time. It means they didn't teach every child differently, but they used to teach the children in groups. If you don't like it, you don't have to read the book. Then Tommy says that if you don't like this book, you don't have to read the book. Just leave it. If you don't like this book, then just don't go for it. Don't read it. I didn't say I didn't like it, Margie said quickly. Then Margie quickly says, quickly means fastly. Then she says, I didn't say I didn't like it. I never said that I don't like this book. She wanted to read about those funny schools, and here Margie wanted to know about those schools and she wanted to read about those funny schools because according to her, it seemed to her that the schools of first time were very funny. They were not even half finished when Margie's mother called. Margie school, and they were not even half finished. It means they didn't half finish the process of reading that book, when Margie's mother called her. Margie school. It means Margie's mother is calling her for school. Margie looked up. Not yet, Mama. Then Margie looked up and she says that not yet, Mama. It's not time to school. Now, said Mrs. Jones. But Mrs. Jones, the mother of Margie, she says that now, and it's probably time for Tommy too, and probably means possibly. Possibly this is the time for Tommy too for attend the school, for go to school. Margie said to Tommy, can I read the book some more with you after school? Then Margie asked Tommy that, can I read this book some more after school? It means after school I want to read this book more with you. It means that I want to read about the school in this book, and I just want to discuss about the strange schools and their different schedule and their different curriculum also. She just wanted to discuss about the school with Tommy, and she wanted to read it more because it found very interesting to read about such kind of school in the 20 and in 21st century. I mean in the past time she wanted to read about such kind of schools. So we have discussed here paragraph number 8 and 9. So this is going to be a real and an interesting story. So dear friends, stay home, stay safe, and just please continue your studies. And if you have any problem, you can ask me in your class WhatsApp group. So this is enough for today. I will just see you in the next class. Till then, bye. Take care.